June 5th, 2017. Just going to do an update on the Forsythia project here. As you can see, this is the original patch, and they're doing good. They've come back nicely. Even the triplets. I think it's 2 or 3 of the triplets have come back. And as I said in my previous video, I was going to dip it and stick it and dip it and stick it until they just took off and worked. But unfortunately, I've had the wind kind of taken out of my sails on my projects around here because it looks like I'm going to have to move. I'm going to sell my house and move away. But these, for instance, very early ones didn't work. And I've pulled some of these out. That it's important you get them at the right time. But see, those leaves are hanging on nicely. But, and I think it works, and I think it up here at this other end up here, see, that's not a Forsythia, that's just somebody else there. But this is what some of those early ones did. I think I pulled out the wrong, and there's another one that didn't work. But then I came along with my dip it and stick it and dip it and stick it, and those leaves are hanging on there. You can see the same thing here. You see, today what I'm going to show you is where I'm got to come through and cut out stuff, cut back the grass that I mowed. See, the trick if you're going to do this is I can mow in between these, but what I've got to do is on these I didn't dig out little patches, round patches to stick the Forsythia in. Look, you can see this one from last year is doing great. So the concept does work, but for some reason I did the first round really well here. But then when I did these next ones, I dug out holes, put them in, and then put some mulch in the bottom of it, some cedar mulch. So what I've got to do is come through with my, over here, and hand do this, which is kind of a pain around. So if you're going to do this, I would suggest patches like that, because once these get as big as the big Forsythia there won't be a patch in between there. But see, the way it is now, I can put my lawnmower between those, and these are going to be easy to clean up, just like that. But I've got to clean this up over here. So let me work on that, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. And so I've chopped back a lot of that overgrown grass. I'm not sure if it's going to show up there or not, if you can tell what I did. But just cleaned it up, got rid of a bunch of the overgrown stuff. Tried my best to not snip off any of the Forsythia. But as you can see, the 3 triplets, indeed, even though they got 8 down to the ground, there's Desmond's triplets still hanging in there. I'm pretty happy about this. This whole first patch did well. And left to themselves, I think that they would grow as tall as that eventually. But as I say, I'm going to, more than likely, 95% chance I'm going to have to sell this house pretty soon and move away. And I imagine whoever comes in here is not going to be like me, and they'll probably want to cut down all the Forsythia, probably get rid of that, probably get rid of the great tree, get rid of the bird baths, probably spray a bunch of fertilizer to keep the grass really green and over fertilize it so all the fertilizer washes into the street and into the gutters and into the sewers and into the rivers and then into the Gulf of Mexico, where the dead zone continues to kill everything. Gulf of Mexico dead zone is a really sad thing. But back to the matter at hand. Some of my early ones I stuck in this year are dead. But then I came back and I said I'm going to dip it and stick it and dip it and stick it until they work. And for instance, those have been in for 3 or 4 weeks, and even though the leaves are drooping on it, and kind of drooping on this, you can see there's a dead one. But then I came back and I said, I'm dipping it and sticking it and keep doing it till it works. Some droopy leaves there that are in there. And right next to one that is dead, and I even put a fence around this to try to protect it, is some droopy leaves, but the leaves are on there still. So I think that they may make it. And same story all the way down to here, to where early one didn't make it. I think it was too much wood. Where you've really got to, the trick is you got to pick a sweet spot to where the new growth is ready to go. So maybe I did it a little bit too early. But as I say, if you're going to try this, my idea would be start doing it, dig up circles of dirt, and then dip it and stick it, and just keep dipping them and sticking them until they go. And I think you can get it going. I think it'll work. Even when they got eaten down almost to the ground, as I showed in my last one, these are still doing well. So I'll try to do maybe one more farewell update, but I don't think I'm going to do any more dip it and stick it's, because I'm not optimistic the people that'll buy this place will continue my project. But so anyway, that's the update. Today is June 17th, and I've been messing around about posting this video, so I thought I might just come out and capture just a little bit more footage. These things are growing by the day. There's the triplets doing so well. And the one thing I wanted to emphasize was, when you're doing this, one, do it in small patches, because eventually, if these get to stay, these two patches will grow together. Once the forsythia is as big as that, those will grow together. The other thing I was going to say is, when you're dipping it and sticking it, some are not going to work, like this one here. But I just did this one about 4 weeks ago, and as long as there's leaves still on that, there's hope for it to go. There's no hope that that's going to work. Here's one that I did last year, because I was thinking maybe, well, the reason those work so well is I did it in the grass there, and these didn't work is I did it in these patches. Well, this particular one here worked well. So the trick is you want to pick new growth. And when I talk about new growth, what I'm talking about is where it is on the tree. For instance, this is the live forsythia I have back here. And this, if you can see it, if it's showing up there right, is wood. You can almost feel it's woody type of texture. Whereas these, I think, are perfect for dip it and stick it, because they're kind of still sprouts versus not mature. And I think that these might have trouble getting the water from the ground up to go. Or if you snipped and clipped these, I think, seeing it's already starting to pop up off the top, I would do this one. It would be perfect. So I think if you, or for instance, these would be really good, but the new growth. So keep dipping it and sticking them and dipping it and sticking them until they go. And what I wanted to emphasize is I did some more dip it and stick it's, because I was just going to say, okay, I'm going to dip it and stick it, and I did these, and obviously they're not going to make it. That's dead. But this one, I came along 2 weeks after I did these, which didn't work at all. And as long as those have leaves on them, I'm going to leave it in the ground, even if they're saggy leaves. See this one here? I came along and I dip it and stick these, and I think it's partially luck. See these sticks here? They're not going to make it. No sense even having them still in the ground. But the ones when I said, okay, those didn't make it, so 2 or 3 weeks after they didn't make it, I did some more here, and these are going strong. So is shorter better? Maybe. Here's one here that is droopy, but even though it's droopy, it still feels kind of strong to me. You know what I'm going to do is I'll put it right against that little buddy. As long as these leaves are still on there, I'm going to do it. This is a goner. This one's a goner. They're not going to work. And I come down the line here, and as I said, even though these are kind of drooping, see that one's drooping like that? It's still got leaves on it. This one, I don't know if it's going to make it. I'm not going to pull it. And see, that one there, it's probably for sure not going to make it, but pull up some of the stuff around it. Who knows? This one on the end, we'll have to see how it goes. So, anyway, just want to do that update.